Welcome, Aries, to your March 2021 reading and forecast. Now, this month we're going to use the tarot, but as you know, great to see the subscribers back again. As you subscribers know, my love and affection to you. As you know, very often, depending on the cards, astrology comes into it, as does numerology and mysticism as well. And of course, I've done private readings for a number of you Aries people, haven't I? It's great to see you, and very good to get to know you personally. And of course, if you'd like to have a personal reading, just check out the information that's in the description box below. The reading is clairvoyant and uses a little bit of tarot. But now I'm going to take the 5 cards because that's all we're going to need for your Aries March 2021 reading. And they will tell us what's in store for you. So let's get it underway. What's the first one? It is the 5 of Wands. Then the 6 of Wands. A couple of good fire cards there. The Page of Wands. Gee, it's all happening. Lots of fire energy for you, Aries. Good to see you, the March. There's the Page of Cups. And finally, the Knight of Cups. Well, there you go. Come and sit down next to me. Have a look at the imagery on this beautiful deck of tarot cards while I do the reading for you. Now, next month's reading will be published on Wednesday, the 10th of March at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. Fascinating, fascinating. I'm going to look at this page first. Let's have a look at it, and let's have a look at the imagery on it, shall we? This Page of Cups. Well, fascinating. A young drummer dressed in the costume of the Swiss Guards of the Vatican stands in a green field, and in the background is the monastery of Mount Athos. Actually, Athos is an island on the Greek peninsula that houses about 20 different monasteries of the Greek Orthodox faith. Now, his face is meek and submissive, but in his hand is a yellow and red cup with an erotic scene of 2 winged lovers kissing. A drum hangs from his shoulder, and you can see it here. And in his right hand is a blue copybook and a quill pen. Now, notwithstanding that this is expressed in this picture to be a male figure, I get a lot of female energy around here, and I'm going to therefore refer to her as a female. And the court cards, of course, can be either male or female, irrespective of how they happen to be drawn. And at this time, I think that the people in the signs of Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Libra will be important to you. Now, this represents a young woman, gracious, voluptuous, sweet, gentle, kind, romantic, and sort of dreamy. Now, the page represents the element of water, and in cups, that is also water. Or the page rather represents earth, I'm sorry to say, and in the cups is water. And so we have the earthy part of water, and what I see then as the faculty of crystallization. And this energy here represents the power of water to give substance to your ideas, to support life, and to form the basis of chemical combinations. Now, the character of this person is infinitely gracious, all sweetness, all voluptuousness, gentleness, kindness, and tenderness. They're really what makes up her character. And she can live in a world of romance, in the perpetual dream of rapture. Now, superficially, she might be thought to be selfish and lazy, but I think this is really a false impression, because she goes about her work silently and effortlessly. Now, again, I'll refer to her as a woman, and I will call her the princess of the palace of the floods. And this represents a time for you of emotional freedom, where jealousy can be conquered and you'll have a great trust in yourself. You'll be quite romantic, I think, gentle and kind. But be careful that you don't get too lost in romance, because she, I think, can be a bit of a dreamer and can sometimes disengage from life because she does live in that world of romance. Now, she is dependent on others, and in your case, it's all right to be dependent on others during this time because you give so much of yourself to other people all the time, don't you? And this is a time, I think, here where you must trust your feelings and perceptions. You are on the right path. Is there anything else preventing you from being fully free? Because you now have the opportunity to let go of it as well. Imagine in this suit of cups that you are surrounded by water and dancing the dance of salvation and freedom with light flowing movements. And say to yourself, the more I love myself, the more I can share with others. Well, I think I might stay in this suit of cups at present, seeing as we're on a roll. And why don't I give you a closer look at this very interesting painting. Well, what do we have here? The infamous Rasputin, advisor to the last Tsarina of Russia, and actually rumored to be her lover. But no proof was ever obtained. And Rasputin here rides something of a sneering mule, don't you think? Look at the look on his face. He's going across dry, stony ground. He wears the habit of the monks of Mount Athos. We were just talking about Mount Athos there. But his heavy boots, have a look at them, and the clasps on his jacket here, they really indicate a lawlessness and wealth associated with him. Now, in his left hand, he holds the reins of the mule, and he is pointing outward towards you. A large silver chalice decorated with Cupid drawing his bow can be seen here, and that's in his right hand. And a crowd of peasants is advancing towards him in the background. Now, I mentioned before that Scorpio was probably someone around you, and again I'm getting Scorpio here. I have to tell you, I'm also getting Libra associated with this card here. Libra and Scorpio around here. Now, as a knight, he is air, and he is in cups, of course, water. And when you mix air and water together, well, you can either have something that's very tranquil, or you can have huge seas and surf and crashing waves, can't you? And I think what this means is that there are going to be some sort of elemental contradictions in his character. But with him, the element of water combines with this feeling of Scorpio that I have to make him quite an intense character. As a fast river flows, so does he, trying to get the most out of life as is possible. Now, I would call him the Knight of the Chariot of Waters. This is about desires, cravings, the possibility for transformation. And it can represent, again, either gender, but I'm really much getting the feeling of a man here who has some subtlety attached to him, a secret violence, quite crafty, could well be an artist, or someone in an artistic or beauty industry who appears calm on the surface, but this masks an intense passion. Now, this is a person who has the ability to detach, and I'm getting that because I get this feeling of Libra around here, because Libra is an air sign, so he has the ability to detach from the heavy, intense, controlling emotions of Scorpio. And, he can, I think, like air and water together, can produce a pond which is quite calm. He can appear quite calm on the surface, but this can actually just be a front for insecurity and fear. Now, usually, the feminine asks the masculine to go deeper into his feelings, to join her in the place where the two meet as one in relationship. This person is completely without conscience in the ordinary sense of the word. He is perfectly ruthless. He cares intensely for power, for information, and his own aims. And he doesn't feel any responsibility towards other people, and ultimately he can't be relied upon. But what does he represent for you? Well, I think that this represents for you something of a period of rest and healing that is necessary, usually after a period of maybe some unsettlement, even as far as trauma in your life. And this allows you to mend before you go out for a more productive phase. Now, if you don't use the time wisely, you can just have a repeat cycle, and you'll know what I mean by that. Now, in the Prince, this knight here, it comes about when he has exhausted himself from periods of passion, and loss, as presented by Scorpio, I think. It's possible that someone's expectations have been unfulfilled, which may leave a period of sadness or disappointment. But when you live life like this guy does, this knight here, on the edge, you can sometimes experience loss, and that is inevitable. However, there is here also the potential for great balance and harmony. There is an intensity to this character that resonates again with Scorpio, which I see in it. And it adds an emotional depth, I think, to a sexual relationship which may be around, giving it an intensity. And it doesn't just mean sexual fulfillment, but getting the most out of life by living it to the full and using the energy of the sun in the intense sign of Scorpio. Now, he has a lot to offer, this person here, but he can't be relied upon because his main responsibility is to himself. Now, he can be secretive, hiding his deepest desires. Again, I'm getting this feeling of arts or music or fashion or beauty or something like this. And he's very good at shedding insight into other people's lives, as he's usually done it all himself. But at worst, he can be cruel, selfish, and reckless. Now, what I'd say for you is this, that you should accept your sexual needs and passions and live them out with awareness. You will discover a lot in this process. Give yourself totally to the experience and observe yourself in it. What secret wishes are you unwilling to admit to? Spend some time each day, perhaps, visualizing yourself with your desires, but without getting lost in them. And say to yourself, I now live out my sexual desires, because this makes me more vital and fulfilled. Well, where shall we go to next? These all act together, really, don't we? Let's have a look at wands. We've got the page, the 5 and the 6 of wands. Well, let's look at the page here first, shall we? What a very fascinating image as well. Well, what do we have here? Let me have a look at it. This page of wands, well, a man of color, a torchbearer who has been freed. Now, you can see down here, there is a green shackle still at his ankle. He wears the solar colors, the colors of the sun. And he has a lion's skin draped over him, doesn't he? There's the head of it, and here's his tail, which goes down here. Now, he rests the tip of a large club in a bed of ashes, as you can see here, in which the lion's tail ends, and his socks trail into them. Now, an orchid grows from the club, as you can see, and there's also another flower on the page's cap here. And in the background, A jungle, lush, with flowers and rich fruit, is threatened by a fire. Now, my previous comment holds true for this as well, in that the page here to me has a lot of feminine energy around it, although it may well also relate to a male. It's quite possible of that, but what I'd say here is that this is the page of the shining flame, the rose of the palace of fire. Now, esoterically, earth being the page, as we discovered before, and in the suit of wands, fire. Well, they are friendly and they get on with each other. But the character of this person is that of extreme individuality, and they create their own beauty. Well, I'll refer to her as a she. She creates her own beauty by her essential vigor and energy. She bedazzles, and in anger or in love, she is sudden, violent, and implacable. She's ambitious and sometimes irrationally enthusiastic about people or projects. I'll say this for her: she never forgets an injury, and the only patience to be found in her is the patience with which she lies in ambush, waiting to get her revenge. Now, the people around here are Leo, Virgo, Cancer, a person who is omnivorous in whatever passion happens to be welling up inside her, entirely reckless in the means of obtaining gratification, and is actually quite insatiable. A young woman, well, as I say, could be a man, that is energetic, individualistic, brilliant and daring, expressive in love or in anger, and is really quite enthusiastic. This is talking about you being freed from fear and new beginnings, optimism and increased perception at this time. Your old fears will lose their power over you. Their dead remains cannot frighten you any longer. Reflect now on your greatest strengths. This suggests to me, the energy here, that you will be someone who is confident, daring, exciting, probably quite a nonconformist, really, certainly freedom-loving and ambitious, and people are going to love your character and energy. Now, as I say, put your seatbelt on, because I think people are going to find you very attractive, and do with that what you may. But there could also be this dark side to you, which can be vengeful, temperamental, unruly, maybe even cruel. This is conquering fears and patterns of thought. You've brought them to the surface and conquered them. Although it has to be said, you often learn your lessons the hard way, don't you? What is the next step in your life? Find it fearlessly. Learn about ways of transforming fearful feelings. Get involved, maybe, in dance or meditation. And say to yourself, my greatest strength is, and then fill in the blank. And then say, as I accept my fear, it is transformed into love. Yes, quite a lot of energy in this spread for you. Lots of energy here, but now, it's not to say that you won't have some competition. Let's have a look at this card here and just have a quick look at it and see if we can tell from the inspired work of the artist what clues it might give us as to what it means for you. Well, there are 5 men. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they are engaged in a furious struggle using clubs as weapons. 2 with clubs of oak, 2 with birch, and 1 with poplar. Now there's a 6th character here. Have a look at him. He's standing back there, isn't he? Rubbing his hands together gleefully, because he's going to exploit the struggle to his advantage. And although he's not directly participating, he will emerge as the winner. He has the solar symbol on his shoulders, on his sleeve shoulders here. A gold bag of gold coins hangs from his waist there, and he has a necklace with what looks like a gold coin on it there as well, and emerald rings on his fingers. Now, I'm getting the energy of struggle here, obviously, for obvious reasons, but there is in here the actual, the hint, I suppose, the promise, the sign of victory over this adversity. But let's go through the card first and let me see what is here. And what do I have? Well, I have Saturn in the first decan of Leo. Now, 5 is the number of the card, as you can see, and 5 I have mystically associated with the planet of Mars. And Mars is about aggression, Mars is about competition, Mars is about war, the god of war, the warrior, about fighting and things. Saturn in Leo. Well, Saturn and Leo really don't get on in my experience, because Leo wants to be creative and express itself, while Saturn is cold, dense, and wants to set boundaries and limits. And here, you'll recall Leo is a fire sign, and it is in a fire suit, being the suit of wands, and it's added to by the fiery planet of Mars, so there's lots of fire energy that's coming around here. So really what we have here is astrological discord, astrological antagonism going on. There's an instability, an exaggeration, strife, changes, loss associated with the number 5 here. And the 5 shows the idea of motion, also of coming to the aid of matters. And I think that this could be the completion or the complete upset of statically stabilized systems. You might start to change things up a bit. Now, you might find that you too are in the middle of a conflict, a tension, a competition, and it might impact upon your ability to move forward with your goals. Sometimes conflict can be positive, of course, such as it forces you to become better at what you do, to become sharper. And brainstorming is another form of competition, I suppose, isn't it? But this can also point, I think, to competition with people who have similar qualities and experiences as you do. That can also relate to people who look as attractive as you do as well. And so you might be finding that you are competing for the affections of somebody. Now, you may not have had to face the fire of competition before, but now you will learn what it means, and more particularly, you will learn what it requires. I think this 5 of Wands can also encourage the understanding of difference of culture, background, and opinions between people. It makes you more rounded and wise. In this situation, the danger of resigning yourself is great. And whatever the situation is where you feel the idea of giving up, remember this. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself. There is a good chance that all you've ever been told or made to feel in your life so far is that you can't do anything. That every time you even dared to dream that your life could be better, you were shot down or laughed at, made to feel small, made to feel useless, made to feel like an idiot for even thinking you could be more. All of us, just as we thought something was in reach, have had a massive shadow of doubt thrown upon us. And sadly, this is very often by someone who is close to us. And it hurts. It hurts deeply, doesn't it? And you've then thought of the pain to get what you want. And your brain avoids the requirements that you need to do now to succeed. Well, don't be concerned, because Saturn reminds you that All things must be taken care of step by step. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Always look again to the flames behind the wand which burn on despite impediments. And when you do draw this card, it is a sign that you are ready to face the situation and do something about it. What insurmountable obstacles seem to stand between you and the realization of your goals? How does the mountain of duties and tasks which stands before you look right now? Just go step by step. Take everything a little easier. Believe in yourself. And say to yourself, I am more and more capable now of expressing my feelings and my creativity in my work. I am more and more capable of achieving that which I set out for with a well thought out plan. Well, then that takes us finally, I think it's finally, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's finally to this card, the Six of Wands. And what is the outcome for you? After this thing saying that you need to gird your loins with something. Well, here we have the Six of Wands. Well, this is really the Lord of Victory, I'm pleased to say, in the way that I look at things. And this is the card of servants, and they wear the livery of the house of the suit of wands, the same as is worn by this page of wands. Actually, he's got the livery, or the clothing, the uniform, if you like, of the house of wands. Now, in the top row is a coachman here, okay? Next, there is a jester wearing just motley clothes. He holds a club on which let me have a look at it here, on which a tambourine. Yes, a tambourine, which also acts as a sort of candle holder. What do you call those things? Candelabras, yes. Now, it's festooned with ribbons. Now, on the right is a man of color who is the mace bearer, and he's wearing a white wig. Now, on the bottom left is a gardener with the hoe. A horn of water, or for water probably, hangs from his belt. A cook is shown here. Here is the cook, as you can see, and his club hung with four small baskets containing figs, plums, fish, and lemons, and a silver pail of wine. And finally comes the scullery maid, her hair tied up in a wrap. What do women call those things? I can't remember. And a broom in her hand. Now, the thing about this is the astrology is particularly good because it is Jupiter in the second decan of Leo, this time the 3rd to the 12th of August. Well, Jupiter is all about love, expansion, and philosophy. And this combines with the creativity of Leo. And so you have success in achieving your goals. Leo is also ruled by the sun. And number 6 here, mystically, I have the sun associated with it as well. It's also associated mystically for me with a center of divine emanation that can metaphorically be referred to as Krishna consciousness, or Christ consciousness, or the consciousness of the divine which came upon the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he received the Quran from the angel Gabriel. Now, Leo is ruled by the sun, and so we have balance and harmony, and Leo gives you confidence and creativity, while Jupiter bestows an expansiveness and development upon here. So you have victory, success, clarity, breakthrough, the unification of your energies, and you'll be feeling inspired to continue. You'll get recognition from others, I think, and it may actually be the situation here where you find that you quite enjoy being within the limelight. There is victory over past troubles. Although you will remember them, you will have defeated them, and you will have become stronger as a result. All is well. You have worked hard to get where you are, and you are now reaping rewards. You will have high self-confidence, which comes from Leo, to go forward, set some new goals, to win that other person's heart or attention, and to improve your learning and understanding, and that comes from Jupiter. So do what you are planning to do. The moment promises success. What do you really want to achieve? What does victory mean to you? And say to yourself, I am now ready to enjoy success in my life. Every event in my life brings me closer to my final goal, and my victory brings benefits to all involved. What a fantastic spread of cards for you, Aries. Well done. Good job. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed doing that. What a fascinating reading, and what a great month it looks like it's going to be for you. Now, please do me a favor, press the like button. It's good for the YouTube thing, and it's good for the channel. I appreciate it. And look, there's one thing I want you to remember until I see you next month, and it is this, and remember it always, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.